Well, here we go again. Another chapter in what feels like an endless saga at Rangers Football Club. And honestly, it's getting exhausting. It's starting to feel like every few months we're right back here. New name, same story, same frustrations. This time, it looks like Danny Röhl is set to be appointed as the new head coach of Rangers. Not manager, head coach. Let that sink in for a moment, because the wording matters. It's just another reminder of how the people running this club seem more interested in structure and hierarchy than actual leadership and accountability. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about personal attacks or blind criticism. This is about the direction of a football club that's meant to stand for ambition, pride, and a certain standard of excellence. But instead, we're watching decision after decision that feels small, safe, and frankly, uninspiring. And now we're being told that Danny Röhl is the answer? The man to bring Rangers back to the top of Scottish football? Forgive the skepticism, but come on. This whole situation raises more questions than answers. Remember not too long ago when Röhl himself supposedly ruled himself out of the job? Said he wasn't interested? So what's changed since then? What happened between no thanks and yes, I'll take it? Did Rangers suddenly become a more attractive project overnight? Or was this a case of going back, hat in hand, because the likes of Kevin Muscat and Steven Gerrard weren't coming through that door? Feels a lot like desperation, not a master plan. And you just know what's coming next. The press conference. That well-rehearsed moment when the board will sit there and try to convince us that Danny Röhl was always the first choice. That this was the plan all along. That the club is united and moving forward. But we've seen this movie before, haven't we? The same empty statements, the same PR spin, all while the problems at the core of the club go completely unaddressed. Let's talk about what Rangers actually need. Not another yes man. Not someone to quietly follow orders from the sporting director and the boardroom. We need a leader, someone with backbone, someone who walks into the dressing room and instantly commands respect, someone who sets standards. Because let's be honest, this team is crying out for structure, identity, and above all, accountability. Instead, we're once again turning to someone who, let's face it, feels like a compromise. A man with very limited experience as a head coach. A man who, while clearly intelligent and tactically aware, is still finding his feet in this side of the game. Yes, he's worked at some big clubs. Yes, he was part of the German national team staff. But this is Rangers. This is a club that demands results, pressure, and expectation from day one. And this job eats people alive if they're not ready for it. Let's not ignore the reality of where Röhl's coming from. His most recent role was at Sheffield Wednesday, a club in utter chaos under its current ownership. He walked into a disaster zone and tried to steady the ship. And to be fair to him, he did show some promise there. He managed 89 games, won 34, drew 21, and lost 34. A win rate of just over 38%. Not exactly earth-shattering, is it? But again, the context matters. Sheffield Wednesday were a mess, and Röhl at least gave them some shape, some direction. But is that enough to take the reins at Rangers? And let's not forget, this would be only his second job as a head coach. That's not a lot of experience when you're stepping into one of the most demanding jobs in British football. He's 36 years old, never had a notable playing career, a defender who bounced around the lower levels of German football before jumping into coaching. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the best managers never kicked a ball professionally. But again, it adds to the question, is this the right time? Is this the right man for a club in crisis? Supporters are right to be skeptical. This club has been crying out for a proper rebuild. Not just a new coach, but a reset from top to bottom. Yet the same names remain in charge upstairs. The same decision-makers who have delivered failure after failure. And now we're supposed to believe that they've suddenly got it right? That this time, they've found the magic formula? Forgive me if I don't buy it. We can talk all day about Röhl's tactics. High intensity, flexible systems, quick transitions, structured pressing. It all sounds great on paper. But this isn't a tactics board. This is Ibrox. This is trips to Pittodrie and Tynecastle and European nights under the lights. Can he handle that? Can he inspire this dressing room? Can he deal with the pressure when the results don't come right away? Because they won't. Not in this environment. Not with this squad. And that's the other thing. How much control will Röhl actually have? Will he be able to shape the squad in his image? Or will he be handed players he didn't ask for, didn't want, and then be expected to make it all work? Because let's be brutally honest, The recent recruitment at this club has been shambolic. And the man overseeing that? Still in place. Still calling the shots. Still failing upwards. Look, there are positives to Danny Roll. He does seem like a forward-thinking coach. He values clear identity and team structure. He's known for being a motivator, someone who builds strong connections with players. That human side might be exactly what this fractured dressing room needs. But the challenge he's walking into is absolutely massive. He's not just being asked to win games. He's being asked to heal a club, to bring back belief, to restore a sense of purpose, and to do all of that under a leadership group that has lost the trust of the fans. No one is saying he can't succeed, but everything about this appointment screams risk. It screams uncertainty. It feels like another roll of the dice from a board that's running out of moves. The timing, the context, the history, it's all against him. And that's before a single ball has even been kicked. We've seen too many false dawns, too many new eras that lasted only a few months. And it's hard to shake the feeling that we're heading down the same road once again. Until the people at the top are held accountable, until the culture of the club shifts, we'll keep finding ourselves here, talking about the next man and the next one after that. But for now, this is where we are. All signs point to Danny Roll becoming the new man in charge at Rangers. Whether it's the right move or not, time will tell. But make no mistake, this is not just about one man. This is about the direction of a football club that desperately needs clarity, conviction, and a plan. And if this is the plan, then they better hope it works. Right. So we've got Danny Roll walking through the doors at Auchenhowie any day now, and as the dust settles, it's time to really look at what comes next, because whether you're for or against this appointment, it's happening. The board has made its decision, and Roll is now tasked with dragging Rangers out of the mud, with the weight of expectation pressing down from day one. He's stepping into a fractured dressing room, a frustrated fan base, and a club that's been going in circles for far too long. Let's be honest, he's not coming into a squad brimming with confidence. These players have been through multiple managers in a short space of time. The inconsistency, the underperforming signings, the lack of fight in key moments, it's all been piling up. And now, here comes a young manager with new ideas, probably unfamiliar to most of the current squad, and he's being asked to steady the ship immediately. That's no small ask. And here's the tricky bit. We've seen time and time again that it's not just about tactics or fitness levels. At Rangers, you need personality. You need presence. You need a bit of steel about you, because every slip is magnified. Every draw feels like a disaster. Every defeat starts talk of crisis. Is Danny Roll prepared for that intensity? The headlines, the scrutiny, the raw pressure that comes with managing one of the biggest clubs in the country? Because this isn't the Bundesliga. This isn't being a number two with the luxury of hiding in the shadows. This is front and center every single day. What makes this even more of a powder keg is the structure behind the scenes. Everyone knows there's a major disconnect between the boardroom and the fan base. And at the heart of that disconnect is the sporting director, a man who many supporters have simply lost all faith in. So now you've got a head coach walking into a setup where he won't even have full control over the squad. How is that supposed to work long-term? When signings go wrong, and let's be honest, many have, who carries the blame? The coach or the man who brought them in? And let's talk about the recruitment, because it's been shocking. We've spent millions on players who can't handle the pace of the game here, who crumble when the pressure's on. We're bringing in projects when we need finished products. There's been no balance, no clear plan, just scattergun signings and short-term thinking. So unless Roll is allowed to stamp his own identity on this squad, bring in players who fit his system and match his intensity, we'll be right back here in 6 months having the same conversation. But maybe, just maybe, that's where Roll can make a difference. Say what you will about his experience, but his background suggests he knows how to coach. He knows how to build something. He's worked in elite environments, learned from top minds, and is known for his ability to get the best out of players. If he's given the room to breathe, and that's a big if, maybe he can instill some structure, some purpose, and finally give this team an identity on the pitch. Because that's been missing for years. We've had flashes, moments, a big win here or there, but there's been no consistency, no clear idea of what Rangers football actually looks like. Roll talks about intensity, quick transitions, controlled pressing, tactical flexibility. It all sounds promising. But we've heard promising before. What matters is whether it translates into performances. whether the players buy in, whether he can turn potential into points. And that's the thing. He's not walking into a patient environment. The fans are fed up. The tolerance is gone. The minute results go south, the knives will be out. And not just for him, for the whole structure. So while Roll may not have picked this fight, he's in it now. And how he handles those early weeks could define his whole tenure. You also have to consider the fixture list. There's no betting-in period here. He won't get 6 months to find his feet. It's win now or else. There are must-win games around the corner. There's a league to chase, a cup campaign to salvage, and European football still in the mix. Every match carries meaning. Every point is critical. So how quickly can he impose his ideas? How fast can he build relationships with players who are already low on confidence? It's not just about tactics anymore. It's about building belief. About getting guys to run through walls again. About returning pride to the badge. And that's going to take more than whiteboards and training drills. That takes leadership, communication, passion. Things that can't be measured in data or tracked by GPS. Then there's the fans. No other fan base rides the highs and lows like this one. When things go right, there's no better place to be than Ibrox. But when things turn, the noise is deafening. Danny Roll is going to learn that fast. He's going to find out what it really means to lead Rangers, with all the beauty and all the burden that comes with it. Some might say he deserves a chance. A fresh voice, a new era, a different approach. Maybe he's what the club needs right now. Someone not connected to past failures. Someone who brings something new. But it's hard to fully buy into that when the same people making the decisions are the ones who've been getting it wrong for years. That's the issue here. It's not just about Roll. It's about the system around him. And if that doesn't change, he won't stand a chance. That's the frustration, really. Because Rangers fans are desperate to believe again. They want to see fight. They want to see ambition. They want to see a team and a club that reflects the values of what it means to wear that shirt. But instead, they're being asked to trust a board that's given them no reason to. And now we're putting faith in a coach who may be talented, but is still unproven at this level. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Glasgow is awash with chatter tonight as rumors swirl around a truly seismic development in Scottish football. Scott McTOMINAY is set to join Rangers in what's being described as a colossal agreement. While neither club has confirmed anything officially, sources close to the negotiations suggest that talks have advanced to a stage few believed possible even a week ago. The Scotland international, long admired for his grit and leadership at Manchester United, has reportedly been open to a return north of the border, and Ibrox, it seems, could be his next destination. The move, if completed, would mark one of the most significant transfers in the recent history of the Scottish Premiership, sending shockwaves through both halves of Glasgow. Inside sources hint that Rangers have been quietly pursuing McTOMINAY for months, viewing him as the perfect figure to anchor a midfield in transition. The club's hierarchy is said to believe that his Premier League pedigree and international experience could inject precisely the kind of steel and authority the squad has lacked. Some insiders even whisper that the player himself pushed for the move, attracted by the chance to play a starring role rather than fight for minutes at Old Trafford. Financial details remain tightly guarded, though talk around Ibrox points to an agreement that could make McTOMINAY one of the club's highest earners, a signal of Rangers' intent to reclaim dominance both domestically and in Europe. Fans, meanwhile, have taken to social media in a frenzy, many already imagining the sight of McTOMINAY in royal blue, thundering into tackles and dictating play beneath the floodlights of a packed Ibrox. Celtic supporters, of course, have wasted no time in scoffing at the story, calling it fanciful gossip and pure tabloid bait. Yet those closer to the Rangers camp insist there's more than smoke here, that something substantial is indeed taking shape behind the scenes. If the deal does go through, it could reshape the balance of power in Scottish football, reigniting one of the sport's fiercest rivalries with fresh fire. For now, all that's certain is that Glasgow is buzzing, and the name on everyone's lips is Scott McTOMINAY. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.